What's up, guys? Iggy here with Faltacunlimited. It is Monday morning. It is 59 degrees in the shop. It is pouring out. It's cold. It's rainy. It's gloomy. It's just all around crappy out. And we have rain in the forecast the entire week, which means one thing. I will be building holsters nonstop because I can't do anything outside. So I have my ovens up. I just got a brand new mold in from Palehorse. It is the GX4. So I already went ahead, made a holster off it, and checked out the fitment. And it fit great. So we're going to go ahead and build a IWB. Actually, it's an appendix IWB, and we're going to build it off the Palehorse mold. It's going to be dual color, blood red in the front, black in the back. And I'm going to show you how I do it. This one, you can do it on the same mold. This is actually the process I'm going to do it. It's going to be a little bit of a waste of material, but this is how I do it, and this is how I get it out, and this is why I have such clean lines on the AIWBs that I build. But I had a gun show this weekend, and I wanted to show you, I ended up picking up a new toy. I already have one, but it's an under barrel mount. It's a 37mm launcher, and you know, I have some friends that come over, and some of them can't really pick up the rifle. So I just figured I'd go ahead and get a standalone TAC 79. Now this is a single shot 37mm launcher with a AR-15 adjustable buttstock and grip, but I haven't tried it out yet, and we are going to be having some fun with this later on. I'm sure you're going to see a video for 4th of July. Of course, the vet's office calls as soon as I'm playing with my grenade launcher, but we just had one of our dogs fixed, thank the Lord. But anyways, yep, you guys are going to see some of this for our 4th of July fun. I usually have a pig roast, and we're doing that this year, so we're going to be having a ball with this. So I don't think I'm going to keep it black, though. I might powder coat the frame, the barrel. I don't know. We shall see. And of course, if I do anything, I'll take you guys along for the ride. But enough about this. Let's get to making holsters. Ooh. Maybe I'll make a holster for this. Nah, I'm just kidding. We'll just do a sling. It has QD attachments. So we'll just do that. That'd be interesting. Like a 4-inch PVC pipe. And as you can see, our mold is pre-drilled. Like I said earlier, I've already gone and made a holster for this. How it looks right here, and it came out good. I have zero complaints. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add to this, and we're going to make a different style, but an AIWB with Sidecar. But this order is stating that it's going to be for an ulti clip. So the ulti clip with the claw, it actually lines up with the RCS holes anyway, because otherwise, yeah, it's going to be, you don't want it. But the problem is with something that's so small like this, we're going to be hanging off. Do we care? Yes. Is it going to bother us? No. So we're going to have to do that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that blocking, which I just ordered a second one from knifekits.com and Holstersmith because I figured I needed one. So I went ahead and did that. And like I said, whenever you do an ulti clip, it lines up with that. So I'll go ahead and throw that right there. Bada bang. Yeah, maybe just a hair more. All right, I'm going to lock that in place. Now, there's a couple things you can do so it doesn't fold underneath. You can use tape. And I think what I'm going to do is, well, one of two things. I can either leave it bare and not care because it's just going to go underneath. Or, I lost my pencil. Or go ahead and fill it with, like, Play-Doh or something like that. Let's see here. All right, let's get that crap off. All right, so this is going to be top side because it's right-handed. That's why I put it on this side. So this half is going to be red, and the other half is going to be black. And I'll show you exactly what I do. It's a little trick I do. That way you get clean lines. But like I said, it is a waste of material, but it is what it is. So this is ready to press. And like I said, you could put something underneath it if it bothers you. I think we might just leave it be. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let me show you how I'm going to do it. we're going to take some Play-Doh, and I'll just point out that I did not rob this from my children, although they love Play-Doh. It's been a while since they've played with it, but I went to Walmart and bought my own, and they were a little jealous, so I had to get them some too. No biggie. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just load it up underneath, right? And then I'll just go ahead and take one of my, yeah, I'll just use this one. I say I was going to use a long razor, but there's one, there's two, and three. Oh, and of course, that all messed up. Poopy head. All right. Okay, you know what we could also do too? Part of our, just cut one to fit underneath. That might be easier at this point. Just gonna compact that in there. All right, there we go right there. And what I will do is do that so it keeps its shape and it doesn't stick to anything that we're doing. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead, press it. We'll do the red, take all that off, and then do the black. And we got the blood red right here. Throw that in the oven, get this going. All right, now that this is out, I have the second one in the press right now to hit the black side, so no big deal. I got 100 seconds left. But as you can see, by doing that, it did not go underneath, and it kind of gives it for a cleaner blocking job. And like I said, we're going to need those two. They're going to line up, which is the reason why it's placed where it is. And again, that is so we could do this setup, and you see how they're in line with each other. So I'm going to knock the other one out and then get back to it. All right, you guys saw we have the top already formed, and now we have the black form. And what we're going to do is it's going to be normal like you would do, but I don't have a trim jig, so we're going to do this without a trim jig. I'm going to go ahead and cut out what I want, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side, and I'll show you how I do that. Drilled. No biggie. Notice I'm only doing half the side because we're going to cut it right down the middle, but I'm going to go ahead, cut them on the bandsaw, and show you what to do next. All right, so we have our two halves like we did. Like obviously, I just cut from here over, and without the trim jig, this is, well, with the trim jig, it'd be cut up here and then down here. But I went ahead and did this on my scroll saw to each side. Next step I did was grabbed the GX4. I didn't use a blue gun because I didn't want to potentially crush it in the ejection port, so I went ahead and grabbed my multi-molds, added the suppressor height sights, And we're just going to go ahead and do this on each side. So this is how it's going to set up in there. So before you do anything, get that situated and grab yourself a large clamp. Generally, I use this size. But I went ahead, I have quite a few of these on hand because this is what I use too. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat up only these, and then we'll take them out of the press, throw it in like that, and then put it back in the foam press, and that'll give us our sight channel and an area to put the eyelets. And then we'll go ahead and do what we need to do after the fact. A lot easier with a trim jig, but I cheaped out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All I'm doing is just letting it warm up so it could bend slightly till we are able to fully press the press. Now we're just going to leave it like this for the full 140 seconds. That way these are going to heat up to about 180 to 400 degrees, and they'll be nice and floppy, at which point they'll go in the press. Out of the press we are, and it's exactly how I wanted it to be. So we have backside, front side. As you can see, this little divot, that is from a fold over from the crease of the mold. That's okay, that's gonna cut out. We're gonna put rivets or eyelets right here, cut around it, and then we're gonna take it and bend it just a little bit more slightly. But there is the shape of one side of the sidecar. I'm gonna show you the tooling I use for the other side, the magazine side, which I have a G2C magazine right here, which is pretty much the same for the GX4, so I'm going to go ahead and base it off that and get this thing finished and out the door. But sadly, it is 2:30. I have to go get the puppy from the vet because his nuts were successfully chopped off and he is ready to go home. So I'm going to continue this in about an hour or two, but with YouTube movie magic, we're going to go ahead and do it right now. And from here, I'm going to choose which pattern I'm going to want, and I'm going to do it with the one that's most condensed, just for personal aesthetics. That's the way I like the look. And with it still together, we'll go ahead, because we know we're going to come up, because that ended up being perfect. And see here, we're going to come up about there. So that's probably going to end up being 4. Yeah, roughly. We'll square that up. And this will show you where those 4 will be. We're going to go up, and then it'll look like that. So I'm going to go ahead, drill those, put the eyelets in. And then what I'll do is treat this just like any other inside or outside the waistband and trim this up and get it to where I want it to be. And we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gents, this is the rough cut. I literally just got it off the grinder. So like I said, I went ahead, cut what we need to do. On the GX4 platform, there's a beveled edge along the trigger guard. You have to cut past that, otherwise it's not going to go in properly. It'll like hit and then want to do this. So that one we're going to carve out a little bit more right there, but we're going to do that in the buffer. But there is pretty much the final shape right there. And what we still have to do is we're going to have to put that on, and we're going to have to put this on with all the hardware. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and soften all the edges by trimming them and doing what we need to do to get these to be good. So before we add in our hardware, we're going to put this in, but I got to clean up the edges, and half of it will be done. Now, before I put the mag carry sight on, I'm going to laser it, but my laser is not set up because of the gun show yesterday, which means I have to lug that thing up the flight of stairs and set it up. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead, do this real quick, and then when you see it, it'll be ready for assembly. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and throw this together.
And let's see here. Start off with hardware for this. This is a 1/4 inch slotted post with 1/4 inch bushing. And there we go. And I did a little trick, as you can see. You get a little bit of, you know, something weird right here. I took a magnet, a rare earth magnet, and I broke it. And I put it on here and I wrapped it in heat shrink, because the magnets eventually wear out, and then the tips, they wear out, so it does it. But doing this, it doesn't come off. So just a little trick. I mean, you already have all the tools, so. And you get heat shrink at AutoZone too, in their accessory section, their electrical section. Little shard of metal. There we go. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and do this. Throw the nut in. Bolt in. These are 3/4 inches long, and these are 1/8 pass-throughs. So grab the pass-throughs. Throw those together. Square that up with the trigger guard. Throw a 1/4 inch on, and then these are 3/8, and these ones need to be tightened with a flathead screwdriver. So we'll pull out our forsters. Awesome. Alright, now let's make the mag section. The magazine is bullets facing, which is good. Guy's smart. Alright, and we'll get it in there. Alright, so we went ahead and grabbed the hardware I needed. Next I grabbed the MRD, and I'm going to use the same drill bit that I use for my retention and anything other than eyelets. And go ahead and drill these out. I always drill my MRD holes with 1/4 inch, because 1/4 inch just so happens to be the width of that raised area. And when we countersink them, it like guides it into it, so it's much better. All right, I use 1/4 inch slotted posts, and these are 1/2 inch. I used to use larger stuff, but this is like bare minimum. And then some of that. So let's throw this on. And again, that magnet is being a lifesaver. Let's see here. Make sure you put that in the right orientation. All right. And go ahead, throw this on. And I'm just going to put it on, but I'm not going to tighten it. Not all the way. That way we could still move those 2 layers. And you'll see why in a second. We're going to take the mag, throw the mag in, and then tighten it. All right. And then from here, we can go ahead. Yeah, it does wiggle, but there's an MRD in here, so we're good. And so from this point, I'm going to go ahead, take this. We know where that's going to end. For this, we use the tall spacers. We're going to put that right there, which means this is going to sit right here. But these holes need to line up with this hole. So what I'll do is I'm going to put fat end up. It's easier to draw where it's going. And I now need, let's see here, to put this right about so. Right about there. And what I will do is I'll mark the top, mark the bottom, and then go ahead, line those up in the center, draw them out. Technically, I really don't even need to draw them because at this point, I will put the clamps on. So if you want to save some lead, go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and drill like so. And before I continue, I'm just going to go ahead and deburr these holes. And I'm going to place in a couple eyelets. And the reason why I'm doing this is so it still doesn't rotate. And while I'm here, I'm just going to throw a clamp here and a clamp here. And then at this point, I know I'm going to have an eyelet right around here. I'm going to drill that out. All right. That's good. So then we can figure out where we're going to be. And we could so that's what stinks when it's going to be. Let's see. It's going to come down this way. Generally, I would go here like so. And then back up, but if we do that, it's going to be a pressure point right there. So we're just we'll go flat right here. And that will, yeah, we'll leave it at that. But what I'll do, so it doesn't look weird, I could, you know what, I could add a fifth one in. That way it doesn't act up, and we'll go just like that. And technically in the long run, that'll give the end user the just ability to do this without doing that. So, all right, that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead, set these eyelets, and then cut this out. And then we cut right across. And yeah, I'm gonna set the eyelets. And you'll see it in a second. Now all we got to do is marry these together. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and laser this first. But the laser's not up here. So I need to... Oh, check that out. Oh, Kydex. Well, laser's not up here. So I have to go ahead and get that up here. Now, the thing is heavy. It is just under 300 pounds. And it is very wide. So I got to carry it up a flight of stairs. So I'm going to go ahead, do that real quick so I can mark this before I marry it to this. Because I have found, like... holding it is just a pain in the butt, and we're gonna take care of that. What do you guys say that we, you know, finish this rig? So I'm gonna set this aside real quick. We're gonna go ahead at the hardware to get this on, and then we're gonna go ahead and take care of the paracord. So these are just 1/2-inch slotteds. Just got a delivery of them in. That's gonna go over it. That's gonna go on top like so. And I think, yep, I already did some Loctite on these guys. There's 1 and 2. Line it up with the magazine. Okay, that's all good to go. And then we're going to throw that in right there. First, I already tied this in a knot. But what I didn't do is melt the end to the knot itself. Okay, there we are. That still has a sharp point. I want that stabbing you right in the groin. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this end and make it pointy, just so it's easier to go through everything. So that means I take it and roll it. You will burn yourself. And I just roll it into a sharp end like so. We're going to run it through, and because it's the first one, I'm going to pull it really tight to really set that knot. Let's take that out. And we're going to go up and then down. And in the words of SpongeBob, you do a loop-de-loop and pull. And your shoes are looking cool. All right, back up and then back down. Now, we're going to go down this way. If you have a pick, that'll help as well. And make your life a lot easier. So there's one. Whoop. Throw it in there. Then right down. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the same sequence that I just did. That's going to tighten it up. Then I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot right here. And we're going to go ahead and cut that. And then seal it off so it doesn't fray. And by doing that, we're going to mount the edge and then push it down into the knot. And there is our holster. So we got the GX4, and let's get in there so it doesn't do that. It's a little too tight for my personal liking. Slip off a little bit, quarter turn, perfect. All right, and there is an inside the waistband. That's going to go with it for the Taurus GX4 with Sidecar. Hell yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. This holster came out extremely awesome, and I'm actually really looking forward to getting it off. Again, that is the one order down. I have a little over 20 left for the month of February, and then I could move on to my March, which I'm going to keep things moving. So again, thank you guys. Huge shout out to Holstersmith and KnifeKits.com. Without this, none of this would be possible. Or without them, none of this would be possible. And we are approaching, we're at like 97, 80 or something like that for subscribers, which means once we hit 10,000, Holstersmith is actually coming back on board for a giveaway, and there might be more coming. So I am really looking forward to that. So like, share, comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.